At night I looked out the window. There were no clouds in the sky, and stars. I burned all the dolls. Although my daughter cried and begged me not to do it, she didn't understand my horror and didn't want to believe that it wasn't me who put dolls in her bed every night. There is a man standing in the yard and looking out my window for a long time, without moving. I do not mind. Just let his parents stop saying that they don't see him. When we bought the house, I assumed that the scratches on the inside of the basement door were left by a large and not very well-mannered dog. The day before yesterday, the neighbor said that the previous owners did not have a dog. This morning I noticed that there are more scratches. Honey, you don't have to be afraid of your dead grandmother. See for yourself that she is nowhere to be found. Look under the bed, in the closet, Well, are you sure? Stop. Just don't raise your head to the ceiling. Grandma hates it when people stare at her. My name is John. I am 6 years old. I really love Halloween. This is the only day, or rather night of the year, when my parents take me out of the basement, take off the handcuffs, and allow me to go outside without a mask. I keep the candy for myself and give the meat to them. Under no circumstances go to the distant closet, said my mother. Of course, I immediately stole the key from her. She discovered it was missing, started screaming, stomping her feet. But when I told her that I hadn't gotten to the pantry yet, she calmed down and even gave me a couple of dollars for chips. If it weren't for the dollars, I would have asked her about the dead boy from the closet, who looked so much like me, and would have finally found out why she cut out his eyes and sawed off his hands. I put the child to bed, and he tells me, Dad, check for the monsters under the bed. I look under the bed to calm him down, and I see my child there, looking at me with horror and saying in a trembling voice, Dad, there's someone else in my bed. I woke up because I heard a knock on the glass. At first I thought someone was knocking on my window, but then I heard another knock from the mirror. A smiling face stared at me from the darkness outside my bedroom window. I live on the 14th floor. This morning, I found a photo of myself sleeping on my phone. I live alone. I can't sleep, she whispered, crawling into bed with me. I woke up in a cold sweat, clutching the dress in which she was buried. Doctors told the patient that phantom pain is possible after amputation, but no one warned about how the cold fingers of the amputated hand would stroke the other. I can't move, breathe, speak or hear. It's dark all the time. If I had known, it would have been better to ask to be cremated. She couldn't understand why she was casting to shadows. After all, there was only one lamp in the room. Worked late today. I see a face looking directly into the surveillance camera under the ceiling. The mannequins were left wrapped in bubble wrap. I heard from the other room how someone started to eat them. Are you awake? But she doesn't. She asked me why I sighed so heavily, but I didn't sigh. You came home after a long day of work and are already dreaming of relaxing alone. You look for the switch with your hand, but you feel someone's hand. I had a wonderful dream until I woke up to the sound of someone hammering. Afterwards, I only heard clods of fur falling on the lid of the coffin, muffling my screams. Doctors report the newborn weighs 600 grams, height 45 centimeters, 32 molars. He is silent and smiles. I used to think that my cat has vision problems. She cannot focus her eyes when she looks at me, until I realized that she was always looking at something behind me.